Hey Lionheart folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I'm using pronouns. Yes, I changed location because no one's using this room and I just wanted to change my background. And also I'm filming two videos in one night. So the previous video that I uploaded about self-worth and how I feel like I don't deserve anything, good. I'm filming another one now because it's double upload, because why not? I just have ideas and I feel like recording, so why not? Today in this video, I wanted to talk about why I chose to go on testosterone and I guess my thought process behind it and what happened before I went on testosterone. So for those of you who haven't seen my other videos and have no idea who I am, I'm Lev. I'm using pronouns. I'm a trans man and I'm also pansexual. I came out as trans in January of last year, so I started socially transitioning in February last year by getting a short haircut. That day marked the beginning of social transition, which is February 15, 2021. 2021. February 15, 2020, and I started medically transitioning this year, and I got my first testosterone injection on January 12th, 2021. I've had chest dysphoria for my entire life, really, and I didn't know what it was back then. But I guess when I started learning about trans experiences, in like 2016, 2017, I was just starting to learn about trans experience and stuff, and I learned about gender dysphoria, and I learned that trans folks can take gender affirming hormones to masculinize or feminize their body in a way that's most comfortable for them. And I knew about testosterone. Um, but I guess early on my journey, 2016, 2017, is more about my sexual orientation and not so much the whole trans thing. Um, I did experience gender dysphoria still, but that I guess I was working through the sexual orientation side of my identity, not so much gender identity. And then after I finished with my gender sexual, I guess figuring out who I am, and I'm like, yes, I'm gay. I'm done with this journey now. Boom, the trans stuff hit harder. Yep, and then it's like round, I don't know how many rounds, like here we go again, sort of thing. After I've done the whole sexual orientation thing journey, now it's a trans journey, and I realized it was the beginning. It was only a beginning, and this journey was not gonna end anytime soon. Anyway, about testosterone. My body was screaming at me, Lev, you can't keep living like this. You gotta get on testosterone. You gotta first come out as trans and start living your truth, and then you also gotta go on testosterone too. There was a distinct period in 2019. Um, June 2019. Um, Gender dysphoria was very bad. Gender dysphoria was very bad at the end of 2019 too. But there was this distinct period in June, not January, June. Distinct period in June 2019 that my I just like the thought just hit me like I want to go on testosterone. I, I knew about trans experiences and gender dysphoria and stuff, but I hadn't accepted the fact that I'm trans. I went nowhere near it. I ran away from it, suppressed it for as long as I possibly suppressed it for as long as possible, avoid it, don't think about it. But there was the period in mid 2019 that, yeah, it was weird. It just hit me out of nowhere. It's like I felt so uncomfortable with myself, and my body was screaming at me, Lev, get on testosterone. You gotta get on testosterone. You can't live like this. And I didn't. It was interesting. I just filmed some stuff, but then I stopped it. I'm like, I'm just gonna go way too long for this video, so I'm just gonna focus purely on, I guess, focusing on testosterone and not so much the early beginnings of my social transition and everything. So last year, after I came as trans, I started transitioning and living as a man and using gender affirming bathrooms. Everything started becoming more confident in my identity. Everything. I still had periods where I kept feeling sick, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was my body screaming at me, Lev, get on testosterone, get on testosterone. You have to get on testosterone. Um, I kept feeling nauseous, chest pain, abdomen pain, these migraines that were medically unexplained. and it intensified at the end of last year. And it seemed like no matter what I did, I talked to friends, I exercised, I sought. No, I finished up with gender therapy at that point, end of last year. But I talked to friends, exercise, did all of the expected self-care, looking after myself things. And it was like 1 week with really felt really down, and I had a lot of suicide thoughts. And it's suicide thoughts for me is the language of pain, and whenever I get very intense suicide thought, it means that I can't keep living my life this way, and something has to change. Can't keep doing this anymore. That's what my body and mind scream at me with suicide thoughts and physical pain and all of these medically unexplained symptoms. Yep, and no matter what I did, like there was a week where I felt shit, and then the next week it died down a little. It was less intense. I was more stable, for lack of better words. And then the week after, I completely crashed again, and it was just really volatile. And it only started dying down after I went on testosterone, because I had finally honored what my body and mind have been screaming at me for years, really. Um, it, it was all of these manifestations, symptoms, experiences was my body and mind's way of communicating to me, because I guess the mind can use language in a way, if that makes sense. But my body can't use verbal language. My body can't tell me, Lev, get on testosterone. So it manifests its communication in the form of physical symptoms that are medically unexplained. Also, during these periods of intense dysphoria and symptoms and stuff, I started losing myself. Like, I started completely. It's not like dissociation, but I felt like I was losing myself completely, and I didn't started losing sight of who I am, and I started losing meaning. I was like, I don't know who I am. I lost meaning, everything, and it really hit me that, Lev, you have to go on testosterone, otherwise you're gonna completely lose yourself, and your mental health is just gonna burn into ashes, and you're not gonna be able to live anymore. I was literally holding on to my sanity, and I was I had I had fears of regret and stuff, which I will talk to about a bit later. But yeah, it was either me completely losing myself and my sanity, or going on testosterone. I There was no other way. Again, because I did everything, and it nothing worked. I did everything: exercise, talk to friends, eat healthy, get enough sleep, do hobbies. Like, I made film. I did all of these things, and nothing works. It's because there is no band-aid solution for this. And the only solution was to go on testosterone and start living my truth. I was living my truth, but because I came out as trans and started living as a man and stuff, but that wasn't enough. Like, I have to go on testosterone to masculinize things, get a deeper voice, and not feel so dysphoric about myself and everything. That honoring my truth at the next level, you could say, by going through the medical transition journey, that was what led to healing. And about regrets, I had fear of regret. That's why it took me, even though my body and mind has been screaming at me for years, you gotta get on testosterone. I was scared to go on testosterone. I was even scared to speak to my GP about it, because I thought that if I started consulting professionals, that I would have to go on testosterone. And I'm telling you now, it's okay to speak to your GP or someone about wanting wanting to go on testosterone, but it doesn't mean that you have to. Like, you could have consult with professionals and think, oh, maybe now's not the right time for me to go on testosterone. Whatever the circumstance may be, talking about the possibility of going testosterone or estrogen, but it's testosterone, it doesn't mean that you have to follow through with it at that current point in time. Like, it's okay to consult a professional and just have the info and knowledge and seek clarity without, like, yeah, seeking support for it does not mean you gotta go on hormones. Yeah, I was scared, and I was also scared of costs and, okay, what if I'm not actually trans and I go on testosterone and I regret it and my voice will stay deep and not everything can be reversed. Fertility, what if I want biological kids in the future and I get testosterone now, I don't freeze my eggs. There were so many things that held me back, and they're all legitimate considerations. But when it comes down to it, and when I sort of ran through all of these things, like, it was affordable. I spoke to my GP. It's affordable for me. It's affordable. There was a very, 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 very low chance of me regretting it because, again, my body and mind has been screaming at me for years, and I've been thinking about it for years, even before I came as trans. And if something sticks with me for this long, I know that it is the right thing for me. Like, unrelated, but with clinical psych, I applied for all the unis. I wanted to be a psychologist ever since I studied psych in year 11, and I never understood why. And when I was in year 11, that was back in 2014, I didn't understand why I was so gravitated towards being a clinical psych. But then the same thing stuck with me for, what is it, 7 years now? And it wasn't until this year, like 1 or 2 months ago, that I realized why I want to become a psychologist. But all of these years, nothing has changed. I still wanted to be a psych, and now it's only now that I understood why. It's the same as testosterone. Like, I didn't understand why my body was telling me this and stuff, but it's been here for years, and that is a very clear sign to me that this is the right path to take, even though I don't know why. I should say, even though I didn't fully understand, I guess, what my body was saying to me. The fertility thing, I'm just thinking, I might not want biological kids in the future, and if I did, I will find a way to work around it. Like, that's a issue for future Lev to figure out, and I don't want to keep sacrificing present Lev, neglecting him, just for something I may or may not want in the future. Like, I knew what I needed. Like, I knew that I needed testosterone. I knew it for sure. But I didn't know about whether I wanted the kids in the future. I don't know whether I'll regret it and whatever it may be. All of the fears I had, I was neglecting present life in planning for a uncertain future. And it just, I think I just broke. I'm just like, I cannot keep doing this. I cannot keep sacrificing present life for future life. And future life, what future life wants might be completely different to what present life wants. And yeah, I'm just done sacrificing present for the future. I also think, like, yeah, barriers may come up in the future, and there might be challenges I never encountered before, and I might take a while to navigate through it. And there might be pain in the future from this decision to go on testosterone or whatever it may be again. Whatever happens in the future cannot be worse than what's happening. This is speaking from the context of before I went on testosterone. It not in the future, like, whatever happens cannot be worse than what I'm going through right now, not being on testosterone, fighting with myself inside, having this war just continue raging on because I'm not honoring what my body and mind needs. And I've been stuck in this pain of not being on testosterone for a very long time now, and it's clearly telling me to do something different. Over 8 months on testosterone now, and I absolutely do not regret going on testosterone whatsoever. And honestly, if I haven't been on testosterone, my mental health and the physical symptoms I experienced as a result of my body screaming at me to go on testosterone, it would have just continued raging on and just continue peaking and just seriously affect my quality of life and well-being in general. I would not be this happy and physically healthy because I'll just keep feeling this sick and pain and stuff um consistently, constantly, until I change something. Because again, it's my body's way of screaming at me, you can't keep living like this, something has to change. And if you don't change and you keep ignoring us, we are just gonna keep showing up and hassling you until you do something about it, Lev. And then the other thing that I mentioned earlier that really pushed me is the suicide thoughts and self-harm thoughts that are the language of pain. And it, well, I guess when I was younger, it was more intense and it manifested because I actually wanted to end my life because of all of the pain, the unbearable pain, and I didn't know how to cope and had no skills in managing all of these difficult experiences. But now, like, after I've gone through, I guess, started breaking social anxiety and depression more and rewiring my brain and making new, healthier, more affirming, kind, automatic thought processes. Suicide thoughts for me is the language of pain, and I'm not scared of it, and I don't act on it. And I know that whenever it arises, there's just conflict inside of me. It's telling me, again, it's similar to all the other experiences. It's telling me, you can't keep doing this, Lev. You cannot keep doing this. And I'm here to tell you this thing. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to inform you that you can't keep doing this. I'm warning you. And again, if you don't listen to me and honor me, then I will just or not honor me, jeez. If you don't listen to what I have to say and take this seriously, then I will keep coming back until you do. That's all the thoughts I had at the moment about this. If I have more thoughts, I might make a part 2 or just an update video. But I hope this video has helped at least one human out there. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next video.